Good morning. Thank you for joining us on day 2 of OESBD's semi-annual series, You Have a Contract, Now What? This workshop series was created to inform small businesses about the performance expectations they'll be required to meet upon being awarded a Broward County contract, as well as to share useful information and available resources to aid in their success. However, the content will be beneficial for any vendor that's awarded a contract with Broward County. Even if this isn't your first contract, we're sure to share some information that will be useful to you. Yesterday was the first day, or part 1 of our 3-part series. Marty Cassini, director of the Broward County Office of Intergovernmental Affairs, kicked the series off by telling us about his agency's role and addressed questions from attendees regarding specific state bills and federal directives that could impact Broward County's local programs, which in turn could impact how contracts are issued. Today's session, as with all our sessions in this series, will be recorded. We've allotted an hour for the actual presentation and about 30 minutes for audience Q&A. We'd like, please, if you would network, tell us who you are in the chat. However, we ask that the Q&A tab be used for your actual questions pertaining to the session. Before introducing today's presenter, I'd like to remind you that our third and final session in the series will occur this Thursday, March 6th. Thursday's session will be a hybrid, meaning you'll have the option to attend in person or online. For in-person attendees, the live session will be held at the Broward County Building Code Division office, located at 2307 West Broward Boulevard, Suite 300, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 33312. You'll be hearing from Code Enforcement Supervisor Delroy Aiken, and his presentation will focus on best practices in relation to code enforcement requirements, and he'll also address the potential impact of proposed state bills on Broward County licensing requirements. Now back to today's session. You'll be hearing from Douglas Saenz, Business Services Manager for Hospitality, Manufacturing, Financial Services, and Small Business at CareerSource Broward. Doug works with employers and industry organizations to promote talent recruitment, training, and retention. Previous to that, he directed, refined, and grew Startup Now, a rigorous entrepreneurship training program that saw the launch of 42 businesses. Before joining CareerSource Broward, Doug built ties with industry organizations and other community partners for CareerSource Palm Beach County. He's also an instructor, facilitator, and creative writer. He's worked with youth transitioning from foster care and ex-offenders. Doug currently serves as a trainer in a leadership development program, preparing men and women for leadership roles. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome today's presenter, Mr. Douglas Saenz. Doug, over to you.
There we go. Thank you very much, Donna Ann. Appreciate it. And good morning, everyone. Glad you're here to join us. This is a phenomenal 3-part series, and I wasn't aware of all the information that's available, so that's good to know we're a part of that. Thank you. So everyone, I don't know if you've heard of CareerSource Broward before or not, but what I'll be doing with you this morning is sharing some of the things that we can do to help you improve your bottom line. So if you go to the next slide, Donna Ann, I appreciate that. Improving your bottom line when you recruit and train. So our whole role here at CareerSource Broward focuses on just a few fine-tuned things. If you go to the next slide, you'll see a phenomenal mission and vision statement, and I have actually summarized that in one sentence there. We connect business with talent, and we help you grow that talent. That is our whole mission. And we have 2 sides of the coin that we deal with. Of course, the one side is business. That's the side I'm speaking with you about. And the other side is the job seeker side. That's the side where we actually can pull in talent to help you fill those slots. So let's go to the next slide. These are the items that drive us for what we do here in Broward County. So we are the workforce board. So everything we do is federally funded. These are your tax dollars coming back into Broward County, okay? So our view is take advantage of these, improve your bottom line, tap into resources that really you have to pay for elsewhere to get. You've already done it. Think of it as a prepaid service. You've already paid it through your taxes. Okay, so how do we help? Employment is number 1. In fact, this is one of our drivers employment is huge. We are contracted by the state and they expect to see numbers. That's one of the things we have to do. A second one is retention. And just like you as a business, you don't want to see your people churning in and out of the office, you know, come, go, hire more, let them go, hire. You want to see them stay there. That saves you money, precious time, productivity, and that knowledge base that you can keep with your employees. Well, that's our goal too. And that's a goal we have from the state. Again, they want us to make sure people remain in jobs. So that's another goal. What else is dear to us? Training. We love to see people get trained, to upskill, to move up, because that leads to upward mobility. So that's a huge, huge element for us as well. And that, all these actually are where we can help you not only save money, but improve your bottom line. Because that means you're putting out less money for these kind of services and you're keeping it to reinvest in your business. Okay, next slide, please. Great. How we, I don't want to have to read that for you, but how can we save you time and money? Okay, next slide. Okay, first of all, posting your job openings. All of you probably use some resource or another to get people in the door. Okay, you might use Indeed, you might use LinkedIn, you might use monster.com, or perhaps you just use your neighborhood network. Hey, so-and-so is their son is looking to work, maybe I'll hire them, or someone's daughter is looking for a position or a part-time position. So you kind of find your way around and you interview people and you find hopefully the right talent, okay? Make Employ Florida one of your tools in your toolkit as you look to recruit people. Employ Florida is the state of Florida's version of Indeed.com, okay? It's a labor exchange. You as an employer can open up an account, no charge for that. You can actually post your jobs there and we can actually help you do that posting. So it saves you some time. You just give us the details of what you're looking for. We post that, and then you can even do searches for resumes. So you can start skimming around, finding where that person might be. Of course, it's on the internet, so I mean, it's everywhere. Anybody, anywhere can actually upload their resume on the job seeker side and let employers know they're available. And you as an employer, of course, that goes all over the place. And especially since there's a lot of folks moving into Florida, you might get a head start and let people know, hey, I'm looking down here if you're coming to Broward County. Okay, so this is one resource. And again, there's no cost for this. You can tap into it quickly and immediately. Okay, next slide, please. Job fairs, recruitments. So I'm going to invite two guests in here to kind of share some time with me. I'm inviting Dan Leary and Deborah Nunez. Come on over, Dan and Deborah. Come through this way if you like, and I make some room for you. So recruitments and job fairs are two vehicles we use, and we define them differently. I hope everyone does. So great. Oh, look at that. What a beautiful picture. That girl.
Great.
Boy, girl. Okay, so first, let me start off with Dan. Dan, just briefly tell us what you do here.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Dan Leary, and I'm the business services supervisor here at CareerSource Broward. And I have a team of individuals that do two things. One are recruitment events, which we'll go a little more in detail in a minute. But also I have some people that are helping use the training grants that you were talking about, which I know we're going to talk more about that also. Right. So the way that can I just go into the recruitment? Please. So what a recruiting event is it's for an individual company. So you as the company, let's say you're hiring 4 or 5 people that you need to get right away. We can put an event in. We need about 2 weeks notice, but we can do an event where we invite you in to use our space at no cost. We will go through our database and pull people and invite them to the event that match up with what you're looking for when it comes to what jobs you have available. We'll invite those people in, and companies do it 2 ways at our recruiting events. One is somebody might come in and just hey, talk to the room. I want to get your resume. I'm going to take the resumes back to my office. I'm going to go through them. I'll call you and let you know if you can come in for a second interview. Other people come in and they do interviews on the spot. And the great thing about that is they have the resume, they're talking to the person, they match up what they want, 5 to 7 minutes. is about all we want you to take when you're doing an event, because you have other people also waiting for that opportunity. And you say, I want to move this person on to the next step. And that could be go to a computer and apply online on our website. Well, we have computers in the office that we will allow you to utilize to have them do that. I also have some of my staff that will be able to be in there to help the people do the online application. So those are the recruiting events we really like the most, because what we tend to find is when somebody does the interview, has them do the application, goes for a second interview, a lot of times those are the people that are hired. And again, as Doug said, that's employment is what we're all about.
Usually it's more effective, I find. If you can interview them then and you find someone you like, you're more likely to get them.
Exactly.
As opposed to, oh, they come in, I got your resume, we'll call you if we like you. And then you might like them and then they already have another job when you go to call them. So it's definitely a better. Now we have, we can do it at any of our centers, correct?
We've got 3 centers in the county, one in Coconut Creek, one in Oakland Park, and one in Hollywood. So we can do it at any of the 3 centers. We can do it offsite. Offsite being we can come to you and hold a recruiting event there. What we would need to do though is we would need to come out and make sure you have space, that you've got parking for the job seekers to come. And so we can do it. We usually don't go offsite as much as we do on our on-site recruitments.
Right. And our parking is I mean, all 3 centers have ample parking. So it's never an issue when it comes to doing recruitments. So recruitment's one company, one event. That's how we define the recruitment. Job fair, many employers. So it's a little different. But speak to us, Dan, if you could, about the neighborhood job fairs. What is that?
You bet. So what we've started to do in our different centers is we've started what I'm going to call a mini job fair, because you'll talk about the big ones.
Right.
So this is for 8 to 10 employers to come in that are in the local area right around our centers. So we invite those employers in, and we invite the people who live around our centers to come in and go to the job fair. So with 8 or 10 different companies, you've got a plethora of different jobs available. So we can invite a lot of people. And we've done this 3 times this year, and been very effective. The first neighborhood job fair we got about 110 people in there. Second one, we got about 140. And then the third one, we got 160 some odd in there.
And we actually market this.
We market
I mean, it's not
this.
like we just call a few folks and hey.
No, we market it, we e-blast it. We've got, we put together flyers for everybody. Anybody who comes to the center knows that we're having that job fair at that day. At that center.
And they do a match too. They don't just call in anybody. If it's a job specific position, let's say office manager, they're not going to just call everybody. Hey, come on over. We have an office manager position. We target it by the occupation. Yeah. And our database extends throughout the county. So
That's
this
correct.
isn't like, we're trying to find folks. They're all in there. And then anybody from around the county can actually come. So that's the neighborhood job fair. No, we also do those by industry, don't we?
We do. So, and we have upcoming, putting together right now 3 different industries. The first one will be an IT job fair on the 20th of March. Then in April, we have a hospitality job fair, and then a healthcare job fair in April.
Okay. So
specific to that industry. So we're inviting companies who are in that industry to come in to be part of the 8 to 10 different employers that are there.
Okay.
And then
Phenomenal.
specifically, looking for those healthcare jobs or the IT jobs.
Okay.
And I'll tell you one thing right now, if you are an IT company, please let us know, because we've got a lot of people in our database that are looking for IT jobs, but we don't have a lot of companies that are helping, are putting jobs in Employ Florida for IT.
So there's one call is how you can help us on our end and help the job seekers and ultimately help yourselves is find those postage, open your account in Employ Florida, post your openings for IT positions, and someone will be reaching out because we definitely, when is that IT?
The 20th.
20th of this month.
20th of this month.
20th of March.
Coming up pretty quick.
Great. Okay. Now, signature job fairs. Those are biggies. We do 2 of those a year. And first, let me talk to Deborah. Deborah, just tell us what you do here.
Good morning, everybody. So I am, I think, the jack of all trades, actually. My overall arching job is to work on the job seeker side. So we work with any person who resides in Broward County who is looking for a job, who has a job that wants to upskill into a job, or who needs training in order to get a better job. I also work with the veterans program, specifically with a set of veteran staff to work with veterans who are either residing in Broward County, transitioning military personnel, and also spouses of veterans or anyone in the military, to assist them in finding work as they reside in Broward County. And the other part of my job is to really work on these signature job fair events, which are really large job fair events where we hope to have representation from all of the employers in Broward County. The more the merrier, as we say. And we then look at our database. So all of the people that are looking for jobs in Florida go into Employ Florida and they create an account, which gives our staff an opportunity to review their resumes, to help people with their resumes, to send them to workshops, which we have right here in all three of our centers, to assist them in any domain they may need in order to be job ready. So if we have people coming through the door that maybe need a little bit of a tweak in computers, or they want to get some help in interviewing, or they feel like their resume really doesn't meet the mark as they're looking at what our employers are needing, we help them look for those skills that they already have that they can explain better on their resumes. So we do that. And at our signature events, we invite all of the employers, and we hope to see all of you there for our events. We do one in November. It's called Paychecks for Patriots. It is a veteran event in where we try to get as many veterans and spouses as we can from Broward County in, so that our employers have the opportunity to talk to veterans and their spouses in hiring. We know that veterans come with a plethora of skills already. They make really great employees, and we talk about retention. And these are the people that are going to stay with you. They want to come in, find a job that they love, and stay for a very long period of time because they are already skilled. And then our second event is our State of the Workforce event. Every year, and for the last 2 years, we've had a State of the Workforce event where we invite our employers to come join us for a breakfast. We talk about trends in employment in Broward County, what is going to be happening in the future, who's coming to Broward County, industries that are vital to Broward County being sustainable. And then we have a huge State of the Workforce job fair where we invite employers to come, and we do, as they said before, all of the advertising for it. In our last job fair, we had around 2,300 job seekers come through the doors. Many of them came from our database, so we already knew what their resumes looked like, the industries that they were looking for. But if people were transitioning and coming to live in Broward County and heard about the event, they came too. And it was a really nice mix of employers and people. And I will tell you, hundreds and hundreds of people found jobs, and employers found candidates that they really were loving because they didn't have to go through those hundreds of resumes to source to see if the resume really fit the bill for the job that they were looking for. So those two big events do draw a lot of people, but between our recruitment events and our signature job fair events, we really do help employers find really qualified, great candidates.
Yeah, they're both huge events. Like she said, over 2,300 one. Excuse me, we keep outperforming ourselves every year. State of the Workforce was huge last year. Paychecks for Patriots was bigger last year. State of the Workforce this year bigger. So we're growing it. And so these are definitely venues you want to tap into. They're only twice, one in November, Paychecks for Patriots, one in January, State of the Workforce. And then you can tap into the neighborhood job fairs and the recruitment. So it's always there. Let me just focus in a minute on the veteran issue, because I think most people understand veterans are phenomenal talent. I mean, they just have that, they've been trained, let's face it. I know you've had military in your family. I've had military in my family. Dan is military. So if I'm an employer, I say, okay, where do I start? What do I do? How do I get a veteran?
Perfect. Call us. We have veteran reps that will come out and literally work with you. We will help you post your job openings on our job board. We will make sure that veterans see that we have access to veteran groups, not only here in Broward County, but across the nation. So when we post your job opening, we're posting it to a veteran job board that all veterans, all transitioning military are going to see across the United States. They'll contact us. We will then get their resume, and then we will make contact with that particular individual, whether it's a spouse, it's a veteran, a transitioning military member. We will contact them, we will learn about them, we will see what their skills are, so that when we pick up the phone and call you and say, hey, Doug, I've got a great veteran that we think will meet the needs of your company, and we're advocating for that veteran with you as an employer, we know the veteran. So we're sending people that we've spoken to, that we know what skills they have and what they don't have. So you're not getting a cold person. We will do a warm handoff. We will help you set up the interview if you need it. We have many, many veterans who are coming here now who are very well trained. They may not have every single skill that you're looking for, but when you start looking at the soft skills that really make a difference in hiring a candidate into your company, we will help you with the technical part. And that is what our veteran team does. We're skilled in doing that. And we will be one-on-one with you. You will have a relationship with our vet reps. You'll know who your representative is, and we will help you with those openings. So when that person does walk through the door, you're not looking at a resume of somebody that you're looking to see, are these skills really true? Do they really match? We've done that for you already. You're walking in to see if the candidate fits into your particular site. Do they have the same value system? Are they communicating with you the way you like? Those are the things that you're going to be looking for as you're interviewing that particular candidate, because we've taken all the guesswork out of whatever else you need as you're looking at a resume.
So that if you're an employer, you're saying, hey, I'm interested in hiring a vet, call any of our centers, identify yourself as an employer,
And
say,
ask
I'd like
to
to
speak to the vet rep.
to the vet rep for employers. And then they'll get that message to them, and then you'll be in touch and you can start that process.
And we happen to be #1 in the state of Florida in being able to place veterans into jobs that really are a great match.
Gee, I didn't hear that, Deborah. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
Yes, we are #1. I'm very proud of it.
All
To
right.
say that our vets really are placed with employers where there's a great match and a great, I want to say, marriage, to say that their skills meet what the employer is looking for, and our retention rate is up in the 90 percentile.
That's awesome.
So we're very proud of what we do on the veteran side. But guess what? We also do it on the job seeker side as well.
Yeah.
We are up in the top 3% in the state of Florida for
Awesome.
that as well. We do have a tremendous database of candidates for your open positions. My staff on the non-vet side does go through those resumes and will send them over to you. We will send the candidates over to you. We have a virtual recruiter button, just like Indeed and everyone else. So our candidates do get your jobs, but we will help you source for those open positions and take a lot of the guesswork out of it. I think we've all been around and been in other places, and as an HR person, you know that you get 200 resumes and you're now reading through all of those resumes to find those top 10, 15 candidates. My staff will do that for you. So come be a part of CareerSource Broward. I think you'll find it a very positive experience.
And again, these are the kind of things that you've already paid for. So there's no need for you to go, got to now lock myself in a room for 3 hours and go through these and call the right people, and hopefully it'll work out. Think of us as your farmed out HR resource.
Right, and you're leveraging your time in a positive way, and we are at no cost.
So thank you, Dan, Deborah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And now let me move on then, and I'll let you guys free. They actually have work they got to do, believe it or not. So I got to release them here.
Give us a call. We'll be happy to help.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, so next slide, please. Another way we can help you out is our economic and workforce labor market data, economic and labor market data. This thing you're seeing is actually a screenshot from our website. It's called there, as you see, the Broward County Economic and Workforce Dashboard. Particularly if you're a data nerd, this is phenomenal stuff. So what we do is all these tiles relate to some economic factor, a view of something going on in Broward County. In most cases, it shows you a year-over-year change, okay? What's real cool, you touch one of those tiles, it opens up a new window, and that window gives you a comparison between Broward, Miami-Dade, and Palm Beach. So all these can give you a flavor as to what's going on, what's been happening from last year till now. So it's a great resource of information. But that's not it, though. We also have access, you can imagine, to public and private labor market and economic data. And we use those programs. We can get you information that you might need or want to know. And if you go to the next slide, some of that data, there we go, includes job descriptions, wage data, if you want to know who's paying what right now. Now, there is a lag in wage data, you can imagine, because the information gets gathered and then trickles down. But we can also access current online job posting information. And some employers will actually post wages, so it gives you a flavor. Okay, here's what they're paying now. Of course, you all know we have a minimum wage right now of $13 an hour. So you obviously got to be there. But then for anything else, let us know. We can certainly help you with the job descriptions and the wage data. And then finally, the biggie, training grants. And this is where you can certainly save a ton of money. I kid you not. And we're going to be talking about that next. So if you go to the next slide, to introduce you to the first of our training grant programs, I'm going to call it over Barbara Savo and Melanie Riney. And actually, yeah, go Riney if you don't mind that way. That way our focus doesn't go off on the camera. Now, our training grants, we have generally 4 types. And as we go through each one, we'll kind of key in on some of the where they stand right now. So you'll be aware. Oh, that's fine. I saw you sneak that, Donna Ann. Go ahead. Not a problem. Okay. So on the job training. Okay. So the target candidate, I want to talk, first of all, Barbara, let me actually introduce you. You'll actually introduce yourself.
Yes.
What do you do here?
Barbara Savo. I am the business services manager here at CareerSource Broward, and I'm responsible for understanding the environment for the Broward County workforce and sharing it with the employers in my industry. So I'm responsible to make sure that you understand what's happening in the workforce and then ensure that you get solutions to help you through that.
And what are your industries?
It's technology, construction, and the marine industry.
Okay, so three biggies here. Marine is in one sense small, but it's huge. It's one of those that we're constant need for talent. I know. I just had to throw that in there. I don't know if anybody on here is a Marine, but it's a huge industry. Deborah's last name, I just saw something come up, is Nunez, N-U-N-E-Z. Okay, so let's talk about the on-the-job training. Okay, it's the target is a candidate you want to hire.
Yes.
Doesn't have the skills.
Yes.
Okay, so, but there are 3 scenarios for the on-the-job.
Yes.
What are they? What are the 3 scenarios?
The
where
3
this applies?
scenarios would be if you have a position or a vacancy that you're trying to fill,
Mhm.
and you're having some struggles filling that position and looking for the talent, we will help you identify individuals who fit the requirements you're looking for. That's one of the scenarios, and that's someone that's not currently working for you. The second scenario is if you have an individual who is working for you and they have specific skills that you think you can hone in on or develop, that's called upskill OJT, where you're upgrading the skills of that individual. And we help you through that using the training plan to identify what specific skills or requirements are needed for that job. The third scenario is if you have an individual that works for you and they're in a registered apprenticeship program, we will use the OJT funding to offset their salary while they're in training. In all three of these scenarios, you have the opportunity to use up to 50 or 75% of reimbursement against their hourly wage, and it's up to 6 months, depending on what the training is needed. When we're creating the training plan, we'll identify how many months they will need for the training.
So, and that last one, the apprenticeships, that's going to be something of a surprise, I think, for most folks. Not that there are apprenticeships, but when we get into it, and that's going to be Melanie's bailiwick. But first, let me just reiterate. One, on-the-job training for a new hire that doesn't have the skills you need. They may have a few, but the point is that if you had 500 applicants at your door, that's not the person you would hire. But since this labor market is a different world, and now you have to start looking at, gee, what's their attitude like? What's their demeanor like? And if you're willing to train them, that's phenomenal, because you can train someone with a great attitude. Mm-hmm. Second scenario is you're going to promote someone. Okay, they're already your employee, and you're thinking, you know what? I bet this person would do great in this position over here. I could promote them and train them in that position. So they don't have the skills, but you're going to give those skills to them for the new position. That's number two. And then the third scenario for a on-the-job training grant, apprenticeship. Okay, we'll touch on that last. So, Barbara, give me what in the medical false negative or false positive, or what's the wrong choice for a candidate for OJT?
Well, someone who's fully qualified for the position would not be a good candidate, who doesn't meet our eligibility criteria, and that is given to us from the state. The funds are coming, these are federal funds, so they do provide requirements to us on who would be eligible for the program. So if they don't meet that eligibility, they would not be qualified to participate in the program. Individuals who don't want to learn, they're not interested in learning, they're not interested in upgrading their skills, they're okay with where they're at. So those are just a few samples, examples of individuals who are not qualified.
Yeah, and that first one, though, might seem obvious, not someone who could walk in and do the job. Personally, I know I've gotten those. People send me resumes for someone who could do the job right now, day one. And it's like, no. They can't have all these skills. That's the point. So if you have someone like that, just hire them. Go ahead and take them on board. Now, in your industries, you've worked, I think, you've had both upgrade.
Yes.
Not in registered apprenticeship, upgrade.
I've had both. I've had all three.
All three, okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the upgrade. Mm-hmm. What we call upgrade. It's a promotion. That job, as well as if they're bringing someone newly on board, the occupation has to be in demand, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, how do I know it's in demand?
We have a targeted occupations list where we triage employers in the area in Broward County, and we ask them, what skills are you looking for? What skills are lacking? And based on their responses, we create a targeted occupations list, which is available to anyone. It's on our page. And that list has over 200 occupations that are eligible to receive work-based training grants. And that's updated annually. Yeah,
we get it once a year. Our new one time flies.
Yes.
Not recently.
Yes.
Maybe 5, 6, 7 months ago. It'll be reviewed again. Actually, come springtime, they review it, they update it, they remove occupations that are no longer considered to be in demand for Broward, and they add those that are in demand. So we get that every year. It's refreshed, and so it does have to be on that list. So any other comments? Because I want to kind of segue into apprenticeships, because that's something that a lot of people probably don't think about much. But
no, not necessarily. It's a lot of information when we present these details to employers, but as business service managers, we sit one-on-one with you and identify what are the challenges that you've been having to find the skills. And then based on the information we collect during that meeting, we come up with the solutions that make better sense for your company. So it's a lot of information, but when we meet one-on-one and we start to go over the detail of your specific industry, your specific company, your needs, then it'll make better sense.
Yeah. And as you see on the screen there, If you do hire someone or if you want to hire someone or promote them, do not do so until the grant contract's been signed. Because if you do it before then, we aren't able to help you. That's just how the rules are written. We don't have a say in that. What are the requirements for a company to qualify? Okay, that's a great question. It's really simple, and I don't want to sound facetious here. You have to be seen as a legitimate business. 1, registered in Sunbiz. 2, you must have your business tax receipt, which I'm sure for most of you, perhaps all of you, that are, if you're already certified with the county, I'm sure one of the things they look for is you must have paid the business tax receipt. So you must have that, and you must have insurance. We do request a COI to show that you do have workers' comp, regardless of the company size, by the way. That's just a requirement. You can imagine protection in that regard if there's any liability issues, something happens on the job. But the COI is the third. So that's it. You must have a physical location.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. She caught me. Barbara caught me. She's calling me out in front of you.
Absolutely
So-
not, just helping.
So you do have to have a physical location. So virtual positions aren't really, this is not geared toward that. And the problem with that is for an on-the-job training grant, you're training someone on a job. You have to be somewhere training someone. So if I'm hiring Melanie, I'm training Melanie, I can't say to 2 no-nos. You know, Melanie's in Nebraska, you know, hey, Melanie, glad you're on board here. You know, I'm going to train you now. That's really tough to do. And 2, this is not the grant where you say, okay, Melanie, here's my 500-page manual. Read this, you'll know exactly what to do on the job. That's not what on-the-job training is about. This is literally about teaching someone on the job how to do that position. You're training someone into an occupation. So that's real, real important. Okay, now we get to Melanie Riney. So Melanie, just tell us briefly what you do.
Name is Melanie Riney, Apprenticeship Services Manager. My role and responsibility is to navigate the landscape of apprenticeship. I try to bring employers, education providers, job seekers, and the stakeholders together, build capacity and also awareness.
So one of the things I'll tell you right now, probably going through a lot of your heads. That's my guess. It happened to me. Okay, wait a minute, apprenticeships. Now it's the building trades. I don't need this. I'm an IT company, or I'm a medical provider of some kind, and I'm going to do something with the county. So is this like all hope lost? Is this?
No, not exactly. So what has happened, Doug, is that apprenticeship program has evolved over the years through the National Apprenticeship Act of 1937. What it does, it allows any company to evolve into apprenticeship program. It has moved from traditional trades into technology, hospitality, aviation, you name it.
Actually, marine too. Marine.
Yeah, and marine.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it is just based on the employer needs. Are they having problem with high turnover? Is the employer having aging employees and so on? So it depends on the need. It is just a structure to assist employers to invest in their employees and to build up a pool of talents.
So I know just from the industries I work with, hospitality is one of my industries. They have apprenticeships.
Yes.
Manufacturing, I learned locally, they have apprenticeships.
Yes.
So Melanie, what's the difference between an apprenticeship and as an employer, I'm just going to hire someone and train them and do a job?
Well, there are several key difference as it relates to that. A registered apprenticeship program is a structured program. So it takes in 2 main components, which is the related instruction and the on-the-job training that Barbara spoke about. It involves a curriculum, it's time-based, it's competency-based, and it allows an individual to acquire a credential at the end, which is certified by the state, the Department of Labor, and also the Department of Education. So it is just a structured learn as you learn program that helps an individual to evolve. It allows a person to move from A to B and an organization to grow and to build a pool of talent and so on. The difference between a casual training, it is that it is not consistent and it does not most time has a curriculum, and it is not time-based.
Okay, so an apprenticeship would be ideal if you want consistency in training.
Yes.
And if again, you had mentioned investing in your employees.
Yes.
An employee likes to know they're being focused on, paid attention to, I guess you could say. What's the retention rate for individuals that go through an apprenticeship program?
So statistics have showed that there is a 97% statistics of person who goes through the process stays. One, it builds loyalty because employees feels that you are investing in them. So they stay longer with you. And so they are loyal customers and they go the extra mile for your organization.
Okay.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's kind of, again, it kind of shows a commitment both ways. You know,
Yes.
as employers, we expect employees to be committed to us. And, you know, same works the other way too. The employees expect their employers to be committed to them. That's certainly one way to do it.
And effectiveness is also a part of that structure, because once you invest in someone and you build on their skills and competencies and so on, you get quality out of what you are expecting. Sure. So you build effectiveness, productivity is on the rise and so on. So it's a good thing.
Awesome. So if no apprenticeship exists for a program, and maybe we have an employer here that says, you know, I want to get something structured that is good, that goes through key points, but there's none that exists for theirs. What can they do?
Okay, that's a good question. So what happened, there is a pool of approved programs by the Department of Labor. If there is no program that matches the employer, what I do will sit with them, customize a program, fit their needs. And if there's, we can also look at existing programs and we see how best we can merge with those existing programs.
Okay, so there are existing programs out there already, and we can tap into those.
A lot of them, yes.
And who's our big partner on this when you do that? Who's the big state partner that you work
The
with?
Department of Education.
Okay, so it's driven.
Yes.
The Department of Education does a lot of that is kind of in the driver's seat for helping make that possible, make an apprenticeship possible.
It's an all-in-one process, so they're not alone.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely. You're not going to be like, okay, go figure it out.
No.
We'll walk with Melanie. I won't. That's her job. Melanie will walk with you, and her counterpart within the Department of Education will also be working with you. So it's definitely a team that we can walk with you and help you develop the apprenticeship if you're looking at doing one. But again, it's beyond the building trades.
Yes.
It is in, like Melanie was saying, IT, marine, aviation, manufacturing. And there's others, I just don't know all the industries.
The workforce has been evolving and we see that around us where technology has taken over.
Mhm.
So because it's evolving, we also have to evolve. And so that is why registered apprenticeship program is very important, because you look into the future and you create stability for your organization to make sure that you have that talent pool of individuals to meet the demands of the labor force or what's coming in the future.
Awesome.
So it's a good thing.
Oh, great. Well, thank you so much. Barbara, did you want to say something, Barbara?
I'm just looking.
You're reading the,
Yes.
okay. Okay.
All my names.
Oh, okay. You want to give your name? Go ahead. It looked like someone was asking for names. So, Barbara?
Barbara Savoux. Savoux is spelled CEVIEUX. Barbara is the first name.
Okay.
Melanie Ryan.
Melanie Riney is her name, and my name is Doug Saenz. Actually, I'm on the screen. So if you don't know my name, okay. So
if I may say
go
one
ahead,
thing,
sure.
So we are looking to build a capacity of registered apprenticeship here in Broward County. Many of you may have been doing this within your organization, but it's not a structured system. Give me a call. I will sit with you, see how best we could structure your program, your training program, to make it a registered apprenticeship program where you get your grants and you can get the support that you need, and we can build that capacity here in Broward County and be suited for whatever is coming for the future and maintain your workforce.
Yeah, please contact Melanie, because it's something that, and actually, apprenticeships are big everywhere. The
Yes.
feds are big on apprenticeships. The state is big on apprenticeships. So it's something they really want to promote because it is structured. It is sure. You get the employee gets a national ultimately,
Yes.
because everything that's done at the state level rolls up to the federal level. So it's a great credential for them. And again, for you, it's kind of adds some gravitas to your
Yes.
business and what you're doing. So great. Well, thank you both so much. Yes, go ahead.
One last thing, I just wanted to tell everyone to make sure they're going to our website and checking to see what we have, the initiatives. We constantly have initiatives happening. I don't think we share information fast enough with the speed of initiatives that are happening, but always visit our website whenever we have grants, whatever's happening internally. We usually post it to the site, or you can reach out to one of us and see if it's something that you'd be interested in. I also want to say that sometimes you may think that our services do not fit what you're trying to do with your company, but once you meet with us and we hear you out, we can then say, hey, we could plug this solution here and it'll make sense for your company. So don't ever think something is far-fetched or you have a niche that we may not be able to fit in, but let's talk it through.
Yeah, let's find out. Definitely. Okay. Great. Well, thank you both so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All righty. If I could hear all you people on the webinar, I'd say clap, but I can't hear you, so you don't have to. Okay, so let's, that was on the job training. Again, focused on the occupation. Wage reimbursement goes up to 75%. That does depend on the size of the company. So if you're under 250 employees, it's 75%. If you're below 250 employees, 75%. If you're above, larger than 250 employees, it's 50%. Okay, so, but I believe most of you are probably in the small business category. So you would get 75% reimbursement. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Incumbent worker training. So this is now you got to kind of park the on the job to one side. This is a different animal, different purpose, different focus. Okay, so the idea here is you're upskilling current employees. Okay, you're not training them for a job like you are for the on the job, whether it's a new hire, a promotion, or an apprenticeship. In the case of an incumbent worker training, you need to upskill them in one or maybe many skills. It just depends on what's going on. So the employees must have at least 6 months tenure with you already. Okay. The focus here, as I said, is skill building. We don't focus on soft skills, safety training, or food handling at all. Believe it or not, no OSHA training, even though this is federal money. I don't understand that, but that's what it is. That's in the law. So, and then here, the reimbursement is up to 90% based on company size, 90% of direct training costs. So if you're going to have a trainer come in to train an X skill, and it's going to cost you $10,000, I'm using that as an example. So you can get up to $9,000 reimbursed for that training. Okay. And not as a real simple example. So this, again, it's structured totally differently. And whereas for the on the job, the individuals have to meet the employees I'm talking about, they have to be eligible. On the incumbent worker, there's not that eligibility. Not generally. There are always, as you can probably imagine, a couple of key eligibility things. This is for any federal dollars. One, you have to be legally able to work in the country. That you can imagine that's one of them. And the only other one applies to males born after December 31st, 1959. You must have registered with Selective Service. Again, that's another federal law. We don't control that. If you haven't, and I have run into some folks that did not, we can't certainly be of help for that individual. So, but again, incumbent worker training, skill building for current employees, and usually this is done with a group of employees. And you can do more than one skill here, by the way. You might, I've recently finalized a contract with a medical device manufacturer that you can imagine manufacturing. You have ISO, you have, new equipment, you have all kinds of stuff, considerations. So they had multiple trainings. I want to say, I might be fudging here, but 15 to 20 different trainings. Now, not all the employers are going into each one, depends on the position and what they do, but they made it simple. They're covering all, they're including all that under one contract, and then they're going to be able to do the training. So that's on the incumbent worker training grant. Okay, great. Let's go to the next slide. Summer Youth Employment. This is a phenomenal program we have. Again, different animal altogether. This targets juniors and seniors in high school. And the goal is to provide them real world experience. Most of these kids haven't had a job, but they tell us, this is my stated career interest. This is what I think I'd like to do. And of course that might change. But what this does is it gives you as an employer help with any projects you're doing, any tasks that need to be done at your place of business. And for the employee, the students, it gives them the opportunity to, one, learn stuff, learn how to work as a team, take instruction. It allows them to see that's our big driver, the business world. You know, this is whatever the industry is, marine, this is aviation, this is technology, this is education, this is government, this is nonprofit, whatever it is. And they start getting experience. They start seeing opportunities for careers. We pay the workers' comp, we pay the wage. So that is totally off of you. And by the way, we are looking for sites right now for our 2025 Summer Youth Employment Program. We have all the students we were able to reach. We had to shut the door. We couldn't take any more, but we are still looking for work sites. So if you are interested, let me know. I'll put you in touch with our program manager for the Summer Youth Employment Program. They'll go out, they'll check the site out, they'll do what they have to do to inform you how that all works. But it's a great opportunity, it really is. And you get them for 8 weeks during the summer. That's it. And I want to say sometime around June, July, yeah, like sometime early mid-June to early mid-August is the total, because obviously we release them about a week or two before schools picks up again. But it's a wonderful opportunity. And a lot of businesses, we want to give back. We want to give to have that community caring element, that element that gives back to our local communities. This is one way to do it. What we're doing here is we're training and trying to not upskill per se, train and teach our kids about the workplace, what kind of industries and businesses. Hopefully, they'll be more likely to stay instead of going somewhere else. We don't want to be losing our young talent. We want them to stay here in Broward and work here. So that is the Summer Youth Employment Program. Okay, next slide, please. Great. Paid internship program. Okay. The paid internship program works virtually the same as the Summer Youth Employment Program, except these are adults that are trying to get back into work. Maybe they were a stay-at-home mom. Kids are in school now. They want to get back into the workforce. Someone has been laid off, unemployed, maybe had an injury, they had to be off in the hospital for a while, and now they're looking to get back into work. That's, we did the same thing. We find a work site, we pay the wage, we pay the workers' comp, you keep them for an X period of time. And they changed it recently, and I honestly don't remember how many hours it is. So I can't speak to that, but it comes out, I believe, to about 12 weeks. So don't quote me. I will deny that I said that if you tell my boss. But you get to use these people. Now, I'll give you one caveat to all these training grants. We, as I mentioned, are federally funded. The vast majority of our money comes from the feds. When the money dries up, it's no longer available, okay? And right now, some of our funding has pretty much been dried up, not all of it. So I can't sit here and say, well, can't have an OJT. No, because you can, depending on the circumstances. So if you have someone that is unemployed, getting an unemployment check, or is long-term unemployed, maybe their check money has run out, but they're still looking for work, can't find it, we have money for that kind of a person, okay? For the paid internship program, it's a little bit different. We've kind of tabled that for the moment because, oddly enough, just like employers are having a hard time finding help, we can't find people to take the internships. So that's been our struggle. So we said, you know what, we have a ton of work sites, employers that have said, yes, I want to be a work site. We do all our work, sign a contract with them, And then we've been at the point where, I'm sorry, we can't find someone. Put it this way, we can't find someone who's willing to do the internship. So we've kind of tabled that right now. We're not really actively promoting it, but it's hopefully if the labor market changes a little bit for the better anyway, we'll have folks that are more interested in doing that. But those are the four we have: on-the-job training, incumbent worker training grant, summer youth employment program, paid internship program. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and either I can help you or one of my colleagues. Barbara is one of them. Janelle, who's not here, he works with healthcare, healthcare and aviation. I'd put you in touch with one of them depending on your industry. But we're more than happy to be of help and help you, again, improve your profit, keep your money, and reinvest it in your business. Okay, next slide, please. Okay. Oh, okay.
With CareerSource Broward, we've been working with the apprenticeship reimbursement program they reimburse up to 75% of the wages for a 6-month period. We probably have been reimbursed in the area of $100,000 or so.
CareerSource is one of those agencies that will come in and help you 100%, employing people, getting you there to the right job, to the right places, trying to give you the funding that you need for other people that need the help. That's CareerSource.
We've been working with CareerSource Broward through the Yacht Service and Technician program sponsored through the Marine Industries Association of South Florida. It's definitely been great to help grow the industry and improve. There's such a need for talent in this industry, and it's great to have a supporter like CareerSource Broward helping us find folks.
CareerSource Broward has made a huge impact on our business. If you're not connecting with CareerSource, if you're not partnering with them, you're missing out on a lot of qualified applicants and people that would have a great time coming into your place of business.
I got into ChildNet through the foster care system, and CareerSource reached out to me, got me a job at the Boys and Girls Club, and I love it so far.
I was a single mom who needed assistance, and I was able to have this program and went through employment and even some schooling, and fast forward, I am the deputy mayor of the city of Sunrise, and I appreciate the humble beginnings where I came from and thankful to your program.
They were there assisting me in every direction possible. It was just amazing. And I just want to say thank you guys for giving me the opportunity, because if it wasn't for CareerSource Broward, I really just don't know where I would be at this point in my life.
So that just kind of gives you a feel for some of the employers and individuals that we've helped at both sides of our coin. There was a question there I saw pop up about who handles the construction industry. That would be Barbara Savo, one of the two ladies that was here. She handles construction. So if you want to shoot me an email, if you want to talk to her, I'll send that to her, and I should cross the hallway from you. I can also walk there, yeah, so I'll let her know. Okay, so we're all over social media. And you can connect with us, follow us, and whatever else people do on social media. I'm not sure how that works. I'm not in the communications department, but we're definitely out there. And next slide, I think, is my contact info. Oh, well, almost. So thank you. You scan that, you go to one of our web pages that talks to you about our services, our training services. And the last slide, which would be the next one in line here, there's my contact info. And you can reach me at that number. I have a cell, but you know what? This is forwarded to my cell, so either way, you're going to get me. And I won't overflow you with tons of phone numbers. So I think right now, Donna Ann, I'm done with my portion here, but if there's questions, I'll let you handle that part.
Thank you very much, Doug and team. Really great information. And what's really amazing is it's not going to cost these companies anything to utilize your services. I took a lot of notes. I almost ran out of paper. So I'll give our audience a chance. I know you've been answering questions throughout, but if there are any additional questions that have not yet been answered, feel free to add those to the Q&A. I'm going to go over to the Q&A right now. I don't see any new ones, but I do have a couple of my own questions that I wanted to ask while we give people a chance to input new questions. So are there any restrictions to which any of the services are there any restrictions for any of the services that apply? For example, does it have to be a for-profit business entity? Is there a specific number of years in service that they have to meet before they can avail themselves of any of these services?
Okay, good question. No, this can, for the first part, it can be a for-profit, nonprofit, or governmental agency. We serve all of them. The issue of longevity, not really, but we do require that if you're going to tap into a training grant, you must have at least one employee other than the owner. Okay, so you can't be like, it's just me, I'm my own business, I want to hire someone, I want to get a training grant. That we won't do. And you can imagine part of the reason is if you're doing all the sales and the accounting and everything else, who's training the employee to do what they have to do? You know, there's no way you can stretch yourself that thin successfully. So we say, no, you have to have one other employee other than the owner to do the job. Oh, and you have to be Broward business.
Okay.
Yeah, physically located in Broward County. Now, if you're a larger company, as long as you have an office in Broward, we can serve you.
Sounds good. There is a question in the Q&A box. It's asking for contact information. What is Barbara Savo's contact info?
So if you see my number there, her extension is 3037. 3037.
So that would be 954-202-3830, extension
3037.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, let me see. I had another question. So if you're a small business, which means you're already short of staffing, and I heard somebody say, it was probably Barbara or Melanie, you can't just give your prospective person a 500-page training manual. They want real on-the-job training. Does CareerSource Broward work with the employer to ensure they have the infrastructure to be able to give the kind of training that's required? Like, who checks on the process, or how does that work?
Okay, no, so good question. So obviously the best person to know that is you as the business. I mean, you'll know, can I handle this or not? That's one. Now I'm talking first on the job training, because there's also the incumbent worker training grant. On the job, you would know best. Can my company handle this? Try and bring someone on board and training them. You would know best. On our side, we check in to make sure all goes well with the employee on their side, because we have a whole different, whereas we work with employers here, Barbara, Melanie, myself, we have a whole different team that works with the job seeker and ultimately the employees. And so they're checking with them to make sure all is going well with the training. So that's how we do it. We make sure everything's moving smoothly along. And generally in the past, I haven't had this happen to me, but on the few occasions that it's happened, if someone says, you know, I'm not learning anything, I don't know what's going on here, you know, then we have to step in and say, okay, what's up? Are you able to train this person? Because they're kind of feeling lost, and you know, we'd have to have a conversation at that point. On the incumbent worker training grant, I'm glad you asked this question, Dot, or whoever did, because you select the trainer, and for an incumbent worker training grant, that's the upskilling. It could be a private trainer. It could be perhaps an educational institution, an FAU, a Broward College, an Atlantic Technical College, or it could be a subject matter expert at the company. Okay, so what's important is on that one, again, we don't reimburse wages, we reimburse direct training costs. And if you have someone trained from within your organization, keep in mind it cannot be someone whose job is normally to train. Okay, why? We're not going to pay them for doing their job. Now, if you pull, say, you have an engineer. Okay, I need my engineer to train these 3 people on how to do this. Well, that's not this engineer's job, but because you're pulling them off the job to do this training, then we look at their wages as in kind, because that's your cost. That's your training cost. So that's how we look at that. So and that's why it's important that it not be the trainer, because that's their job normally. So
okay,
the trainer.
Makes sense. There is another question in the Q&A box. How often do you offer these apprenticeship internship opportunities, and how do I go about getting my company involved?
Okay, so just for definition's sake, the apprenticeship is the formal training. You can contact Melanie and she can help you kind of walk through that and know, maybe there's already a program available, maybe even in your industry. I don't know your industry, but like I was unaware, I work with the manufacturing industry. I had been unaware that they had 2 apprenticeships locally, and that's through a partner called Florida Makes. Florida Makes. The industry organization is South Florida Manufacturing Association. The public-private partner at the state level is Florida Makes, and they have local offices, and they're actually situated with the South Florida Manufacturers Association. They have 2 apprenticeships I just learned about. Well, that's awesome. I mean, if I'm a manufacturer, depending on what I'm trying to train in, that could save me a ton of time and money because it's local. Now I don't have to worry about developing a whole new thing. If it's getting someone for a local, again, the paid internship, we're not really going for right now. We're kind of pressed pause on that. But the summer youth, we're certainly contact me. I'll put you in touch with that person, and I could let them know that you're interested to be a work site. I think did that answer the question? I hope so.
I think it did.
Okay.
All right. While we wait on another, I'm going to ask you one of my own. So based on what we heard regarding the recruitment events, the job fairs, the apprenticeship, the upskill, on the job training, is there a requirement under any of these programs that the company has to retain that person for a certain period of time and that person has to stay with the company for a specific period of time?
Excellent question. So yes, if you remember, retention is a huge goal for us. So there are. I'll first start with on-the-job training. There are 2 retention points. One is a 30-day retention once the training grant has ended. Okay, so we can reimburse monthly on the job training grant. Training can go from 2 to 6 months, depending on different factors. If they already have some skills, what the position is, we have some guidelines as to how long it might take certain positions. But on the last month, when you submit the reimbursement, the last month of the grant, we'll process everything. We hold the check for 30 days. And we ask you, continue getting the data that you've been getting to submit to us to show us that they've worked, the employee worked, that you've paid them. Beg your pardon. Continue collecting that. At the end of that 30-day period, send that to us. Then we can see, okay, they've kept the person for 30 days. That's good. We release the money.
Okay.
1 year later, we check in to see if that person is still there. So again, because retention is so critical for us, it's one of our deliverables. We have to meet these goals. And we understand life happens. People move, they pass away, maybe they got a promotion or took a different job elsewhere. So we understand those things happen. What we look for is to make sure that it was a legitimate separation. If all of a sudden we're learning that people are just leaving because you're not training them right, then it looks like, okay, we're suspicious about the motives for applying for the grant. And so we might say, you know what, we're going to hold off and wait a year before we do anything else with you at this point, just to see how things work out. And then you can come and check in with us again if you'd like. So that's how we handle those.
That actually brings up another question that I had. Is there a limit to how many times, because this is grant funded, is there a limit to how many times a company can avail themselves of your services in a given year?
Okay, good question. So now services is broad. So let me just narrow that question to grants. So there is a limit. What do I mean by that? It depends. So and I don't want to confuse things too much. On the job training grant, under one contract, you can have 5 training plans. You can actually train 5 people. So you can definitely, do that, not a problem. If you get a training grant, you've trained a person, whether it's an on-the-job or an incumbent worker training grant, you must wait 2 years before you come back to train that person again. Okay?
Got
So
it.
you can come back as an employer, train other people, but you can't come back to train the same person again for a couple of years.
Okay. Makes total sense. It was mentioned that there is a targeted occupations list. Is that available on the website? How can folks view that?
It is on the website. Wow, it's one of those things I know how to get there, but I can't tell you how. So if you want to shoot me an email, I can do two things. I can show you how to get there. I can also send the list to you. I just, it's a PDF. I can send it to you.
Okay.
I can get there myself, but I can't tell you how to get there. I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine. Actually, if you're able to email the list to me, Doug, what we can do is make it available on our YouTube page or something like that for the people who attended, and that'll be fine. And I won't put you on the spot anymore. I'll give a last call to see if there are any questions from the audience. Those are my own questions, and you've answered them all. We'll just wait for a sec, just in case. All right. I don't think there are any additional questions. I have a couple of other slides with information, but I want to take this time to say thank you very much, Doug and team. This was awesome information. It was a lot of information. Thankfully, the session is recorded, so folks will be able to go back to it and review some of this information that was shared. So please relay our thanks to the rest of your team that joined in, and hopefully we'll partner on something again soon. For the rest of the audience that's still with me, if I could get the next slide, please. Be sure to register if you haven't already done so for the third session, which is day 3 in our 3-part series. We're going to skip Wednesday tomorrow. So the next one's going to be on Thursday, March 6th. And this one is going to be a hybrid session. What that means is you'll be able to attend in person or online. If you do it in person, it's going to be at the Broward County Building Code Division, which is located at 2307 West Broward Boulevard, Suite 300. It's there on the screen for you. If you opt to participate online, then you'll have the same Zoom, well, it won't be the same, but you'll have a Zoom meeting link where you can participate that way. We are going to be sending out a survey because we have the in-person option to ask if you intend to participate in person or not. And that's just to ensure we have enough seating on site. That session is going to be a really good one as well. We're going to have Delroy Aiken talking about best practices with the Building Code Division, as well as you've probably heard there are various bills that have been floated, one of which could potentially impact locally issued licenses or certificates of competency. So be sure to join us on Thursday, March 6th for that one. You can also use a QR code on the screen to assist with registering, and it's going to be around the same time frame, 11 a.m., and we should taper off at about 12:30. May I have the next slide, please? Okay. One of our annual signature events that OESBD puts on is our Broward and Beyond Business Conference. This year's conference is going to be on Friday, May 9th. It's going to be the same place we had it last year, which is the Broward County Convention Center. It is free to attend. You do, however, have to register, and there is a QR code towards the bottom right corner of your screen. You can use that, and you can definitely register to attend. It's fantastic. It's not just limited to small businesses. Large businesses attend, small businesses attend, for-profit, nonprofit, a wide range of industries. We're going to have some quote unquote owners like Broward County. The school board is usually in attendance. So primes, you've got a target audience for you, and subs will also have primes in attendance. But it's really good information. It's a fantastic networking opportunity. So we hope to see you there. And may I have the next slide, please? Okay, Technical Assistance Fridays. Some of you, I think, had posted previously, how do we become certified, or to learn more about our certification programs. Our Office of Economic and Small Business Development is hosting Technical Assistance Fridays. It occurs on the 1st and 3rd Friday of each month. It is at Nova Southeastern University in the Alan B. Levan Center, which is in the library at NSU. And we ask you to go ahead and schedule to make an appointment to meet one-on-one with a member of our certification team. They can assist you with a brand new application, either for our 2 local or 2 federal programs. If you're already certified, something's changed in your business structure, you have some questions, maybe about your renewal process, they can assist with that too. So give us a call at 954-357-6400. Please go ahead and schedule that appointment. The last appointment will be scheduled for 4 p.m. Walk-ins are welcomed, but I will tell you it's a secure elevator, so someone will have to let you up. So it's best if you do make that appointment so we know to expect you. You're not stuck downstairs on the first floor of the library. Next slide, please. How do you stay in touch with us? Well, we're doing lots of events like this one and a whole host of others. Our community relations and outreach team works on putting together events that we ourselves host in OESBD, as well as when we partner with our community partners. A good way to stay in touch is via that QR code on the screen. We issue every Wednesday around 6 p.m. an e-newsletter. It's called the Business Assistance Weekly, or the BA. It's full of tips. We brag about our small businesses, success on contracts, whether primes are using our small businesses or small businesses are winning contracts. Our director usually puts in hot tips. If there are any changes with our programs, federal or local, you're likely to see that there. So go ahead, sign up, and you can learn about upcoming events, as well as know what's going on in Broward County and with our programs. May I have the next slide, please? He wasn't here today, but I'm sure if you've ever attended one of our events, you've seen our director, Sandy Michael McDonald. That's his contact information there. He's the head of our agency. And as I said before, he offers hot tips in our BA. He's a wealth of information. Feel free to reach out. He has an open door policy. You can also reach our team by calling that number on the screen, 954-357-6400. May I have the next slide, please? And it's survey time. If you would, there's a very brief survey. Please scan the QR code on your screen and give us some feedback. This helps with how we program future events, whether it be online, in person, etc. So we welcome your feedback. Please let us know what you'd like to see, what we're doing well, where we can improve. So I'll give that a second. And I didn't say it before, but it was on the screen. You can definitely follow us. We're on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. And I think our YouTube is at Broward County. Yep, it's in the chat, at Broward County OESBD. So our CRO team is omnipresent. And I'll ask for the next slide, please. And that's it. Thank you all so much for joining us today. We hope you can come out and join us on Thursday for our last installment. I'm Donna Ann Knapp, Small Business Development Manager in the office, and it's been my pleasure and that of CRO Doug Saenz and his colleagues to be here with you today. We'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.